right, I just arrived in downtown Dallas. We have a corporate shoot, one-man band. I'm running solo. And first things first is gotta pay for parking. It's a Friday here, and it looks like a ghost town here at 7:30, and there's really no one around. All right, so the first cart I went up with was pretty much what I would consider camera department. We had some lights in there as well. This one has some my grip equipment. So I have these Matthews C stands here. I have my crate system, that's a 300D. We've got the cones, reflectors, whatever you want to call them. And then we have shot bags in here and some grip hardware. And then we have a split 6x frame because we're going to put some diff up in front of our softbox. And you see how tight these line up. Look how they squeeze into this tiny little space. That's why I like the Matthews. They're very low profile. They don't have big, just chunks of metal on the base of them, which makes them harder to, stack up like this. So we got some clamps and some gaff tape, and then I have a bounce right here, and I'm gonna throw that right on top of here. So just wanted to give y'all a little lowdown on this. And this is a Robo Cup to hold drinks. You could clamp it on to any vertical surface similar to this, stands and whatnot, and it holds your drinks. They're really cool. So I'm gonna head on up into an office building. I forgot my boom for my hair light, and I forgot 6x rags. I accidentally grabbed the wrong size. So back at it again, up into the Golden Tower. Actually, the Golden Tower's right there, but we're not going in there today. So yeah, if I had an assistant, if I wasn't one-man banding it, I could send someone down and continue working. But now I got to come back here on my own and work my way back up. So struggle is real. So I have camera up first before I do any of the lighting. I just kind of want to get my frame, and I'm really liking this. We've got some great leading lines. Luckily we have some shears for the outside, so we can make things look really nice. So this is looking good. I still have a little bit of overheads on, and we have lights. So you can see here I have my screen flipped over so that I could actually kind of get an idea of what's going on with framing. So we're seeing here, see we're getting some banding from those lights. Hopefully it's not showing through. We'll check that right now on camera. So we're getting these weird lines. Obviously that's from these lights. They're on dimmers, and when they're on dimmers, they create issues. So what I'm going to do is go into a function called ECS, and it's going to help me reduce this. So if you see I start fine tuning it, I could start eliminating it. Let's see where it goes and where it starts to disappear. Oh, that's it, it's gone. So I'm not at a true 180-degree shutter, but that's better than having this be wonky. So cool little tip. Some cameras have this function, some don't, but this is the FX6. So now I've got that dialed in because it didn't look as nice as I wanted it to. I didn't have enough output to have these lights off. This is what I use for my overhead hair light, which is usually a tube light. And I have a baby pin that slides in here, and it prevents it from falling like this. And then also a pin. This pin goes in here and it goes into the slotted spot, which I'll show you. So it doesn't have an easy chance of falling. So it goes into that lip right there. So when it goes on there, it goes into the lip, stays there, prevents it from falling. This is adjustable, whichever direction you want. Pretty much have full control over how you want to hang it. So we're going to put it right here for now. And then we're gonna attach our light and make sure that we don't attach the side that we need to use controls on here. We'll touch the other side. And then a lot of times I like to get a little extra reach out of it. So then it goes like this. So then that's booming out there. So you can turn it on and then we set it to what we want. I'm gonna probably match it to the overhead light so it's more realistic, and we'll figure that out. Right now this is daylight compared to what's coming in here. So we'll adjust that. All right, how do we know that we're balanced on our boom? It's just like a seesaw. You want to have equal weight on each side. This is knocked loose, so you can see it's teeter-tottering, but wherever I put it, pretty much stays. That's perfectly balanced. I'm using a light as a counterbalance, and then I'm gonna put clamps here, clamp this off so they stay, but that's pretty much it. It's perfectly balanced. If I didn't have it balanced like this, it would go one direction, but it's staying in place. So we're going to use it as it is. I have very little clearance here, so I got to make sure that everything's in good order. I could always turn this like this or whatever to make it clear, but this should be good and we'll get to go. And right here is our shot bag on our big leg. So this should work. And then I'm going to use the second riser, which is a stronger one, to go up. So that's how we're going to get it done. Somebody sent me a private message asking why I make the choices I make with the diffusion I use. So this is quarter grade. It is one of the thinnest, most transparent diffusions I have with the grades, because I have quarter, half, and full. And then behind you see there's the egg crate. I'm going to remove that egg crate and show you the difference that not having that egg crate on there makes. It's going to open up more light. Obviously, I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher and we'll see how it looks. After removing that grid, we are getting way more output, and it's making it look natural because it's just a big source just spilling out. So we're going to get it matched up to these guys up here, make it look good, and yeah, kind of go from there. All right, so we are set up here. Here's the lighting. I can't fine tune everything, but let me give you a little rundown of what's going on. We have the mic here, so I could actually drop that down. It's a little high. Okay, so I'll make that adjustment now. Now it's still got about this much. We're gonna get as close as we can get it. All right, so it's just out of frame. So you can hear the noise of me messing with it. So we're set up right here. To my left is actually a bounce. So if we do this, you can see how dark the fill side gets. And then we open this up, give a little bit of bounce, and it brightens us up. So the person that we'll be filming today has a little darker complexion than me, and we have to accommodate for that. So we have our key light over here coming in nice and strong. We're doing straight to camera, reading off a teleprompter. So that's something that's really cool, is the ability to just look straight into camera and read right off a teleprompter, notes, whatever they are. It's going straight to the camera, so you can look right into it. Over here, you can see we have that little bit of splash for the blue, giving us a little bit of pop. And then above me here, see the hair light. So if you see me walking, you'll see it hit my hand. There it is. So it's just behind me right here. And that's going to be adjusted because sometimes you'll catch. See how that's catching right there? Yeah, we don't want that. So if they lean back a lot, we have to move it back further. So that's something to consider. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this so we don't lose its output. I may run power to it. These should be quick, but you never know. Oh, where's the switch? There it is. I do have a backup. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to switch that back up and get it to the exact same setting. So if I do need to do a swap, it's very quick. Just pop, pop, done. Or I could run power, run a stinger, whichever one I decide. We'll see what happens. I wish I could bring in our key a little bit more It's a little bit ways away, but it's not too bad. We should have enough adjustment to get where we need to be. I could go a little more shallow, open up the aperture. I could adjust the light. We are at 100% output, but there are things I can do to fine tune this setup a little bit more. One of them being bringing the rag a little closer in this way, which I may do because there's a table here separating me. So I'm gonna go to my cell phone now and show you how that looks. So here's our setup from where I was standing, give or take. And you see our key lights right there. We have our bounce here, and then we have our boom, and then our hair light. So our dome is going through a quarter grid diffusion. This has the magic cloth type diffusion, the softer one. So we're going soft light into a big source quarter grid, which is more soft light. So we should be doing well. So that looks really nice. I think I may move this light. I have time. So I may move this guy in closer right here. And then the dome can hang over this this desk. So here's my little light that's popping. It's a Aputure 60D. But if you see here, we're hitting right here. See where that shadow is? We're hitting the edge of this wood, and it's looking really weird on camera. So I'm going to come over here and show you guys. If you see here, it's kind of giving it some color. So we could actually totally cut that off by making some adjustments here. And if you see, we can kind of move it. Make it where it's not hitting there as much. Now that looks a lot better. Cleaned up, plugged in right there. We have this here so people know something's there. So here are my carts. This is just a rock and roller with a bag on it. Did I seek out to purchase this by itself? No, I did not. Did I get a really good deal on it? Yes, that's why I'm using it. It folds up real good. And then here's a mag liner, just a standard mag liner, not done up for filmmaking at all. But did I seek out and buy it? No. Did I get a good deal on it? Yes. One of the most important things that I like to kind of preach to people that work with me is keep a small footprint, keep everything clean, keep stuff tidy. We know you're capable of making a mess, but that doesn't mean you need to make a mess. If you keep a small footprint, keep things tidy, it makes it a lot easier. So I actually adjusted the key light. Here we go, messing with the audio again. So I adjusted the key light and I made it where it's coming in a little bit more, just slightly. We're talking maybe 6-7 inches. This should give us a little bit more output, and you could probably notice the difference. So I'm not gonna adjust the exposure to fix what I just did, so you could kind of see a comparison. And the reason I have time for this is I have this as a regular client. They know it takes time to set up. When they get me to come out as a one-man band, they understand, and I keep looking up at the screen. That's terrible. That's why teleprompter is good. You look into the screen. I want to make sure it looks good, but whatever. I'm going to look at you guys. So what's important is you want to make sure that with a one-man band, you have enough time allotted. They gave me 3 hours. I was up here at 8 a.m. and setting up at what was technically my call time. Corporate's a little different. When they say 8 a.m., they expect you to be like banging at their door, coming in at 8 a.m. So I got parked a little early, made sure I had a spot, got my gear unloaded, made one trip, made a second trip. By 8 a.m., I was already setting up in here. And then my contact, which knows that I have the ability to set up without them here, made his way in here after he got his morning stuff handled with calls, emails, just the typical thing. They're not always in the office. So a lot of times my contacts will make a special arrangement to come in for the day of shooting. I know the biggest gripe a lot of people have is not being able to see the end product. So I'm going to try as much as I can to jump in front of the camera when I'm doing these interview setups so you could at least see how the light's hitting me, what it's doing. If I can't show the final product, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It depends if it's my project, if there's an NDA, if someone hires me out. Some people are more flexible than others, and some people trust me because they've known me. They know that I'm not going to reveal anything that's sensitive. Maybe I'll release it after the release of their content, or they're a new client and they just don't want it to happen because they don't know if I'm just going to immediately post online. So I really appreciate everyone that comes in to my channel, watches the videos, comments, likes the videos. All you subscribers are awesome. I'm going to keep doing this. I want to help you guys out because the big thing is I'm growing as a business. You guys want to grow as a business or are growing as a business and are continuing to grow. Sharing this knowledge between fellow filmmakers and shooters and videographers and photographers is really important to help us have that edge for our clients. And the more people that I can help, the more people that will help me. But also, in the end, when I need help, I have qualified people because I've developed a community of skilled shooters, and a way for us to connect. And, I know I did not teach you everything, I did not show you everything, but if there's someone up and coming that needs some help and I'm able to give them some advice and they learn something and then they're like, oh my gosh, I've grown so much because I took your input. I took Cranky Cameraman's input, more field visuals, and you kind of combine all those together and all of a sudden you're growing. And I reach out to you and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, you're qualified. Come on board. I need you to help me with this. Maybe I need help with lighting. Maybe I need help with hucking all this gear around so I don't have to one-man band it. So that's the thing, is growth. I am nowhere near these guys that are just phenomenal DPs that are just knocking it out of the park, that know the technicalities. I mean, they could look at me right now and be like, oh my gosh, there's 1 millionth shift in the magenta and the greens, and I don't have that eye yet, but I'm developing it and I'm getting better. And I want to grow and I want to get more technical when I can, but we all have to start somewhere. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. Let's keep growing. If you're local to DFW, let's connect. That there's nothing wrong with that. Hit me up. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, obviously here on YouTube. Make a comment, find me either way, and let's start creating stuff and start creating a bigger community of skilled shooters that can handle work like this. They can handle going out as a one-man band sometimes, but still do an amazing job. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking a dive into another one of my vlogs and another day in the life of me. And I don't think I've really introduced myself, but I go by Peter. My name is Polish, so it's Piotr Mokry, and that's a little hard for you guys to say, so just call me Peter, Texas Pete, Polish Pete, whatever works for you guys. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks again.